guys, Cass here. Today I decided I am going to talk about what it's like to have treatment-resistant depression, um, which is kind of like a heavier topic, but I feel like talking about it, and we don't have a lot of subscribers, so not a lot of people are going to see it. Um, so I have experienced symptoms of depression for about 6 years. It started when I was 16. And then I believe that was a trigger of kind of like the internet, like the online friends I had at that time, because it wasn't a very healthy time for the part of the internet I was on, which was like chat rooms and stuff like that without like videos and stuff. Like you could talk to strangers and stuff like that. Um, and so it started then, and as I like went through high school, I didn't really tell my parents because at that time my anxiety was a lot worse. And every time I had tried to talk to my mom about my anxiety, she kind of dismissed it. And so I grew to live with, passive suicidal ideation, which is the symptom where you don't really want to get up in the morning. For me, simple tasks are extremely overwhelming. I'm just very avoidant. Um, and, I didn't want to deal with stuff, like, at all. But as I got older, I kind of just learned to deal with it, and it just slowly got worse and worse, to the point, last year I was hospitalized for a week, which didn't really do anything except give me no options to do anything, really, um, which was helpful, I guess, but was free because the state funded it. And then I got on a new medication, and that one didn't work. Um, and so, and I had been kind of going to therapy off and on. I hadn't found a therapist that helped me, and I mean, I found one now, but I'm not continuing with her because of the way their business is like transferring over to another company and stuff like that. And she was very blunt and had low compassion, I'd say. Very practical woman. If you're feeling this, you have to do this. This will help, kind of a thing. Like giving me like tools all the time and no reassurance. She told me that she doesn't feel like I actually want to die. I'm just avoiding my problems. Which, yes, but that's not a very tactful way of saying it. So but I also had a psychologist at that time, like the past few months. And one of the worst parts about treatment-resistant depression is, will this next pill work? If it doesn't, what am I going to do? And I went through about 5 pills before I found one that's lasted longer than 3 weeks. Because in the past, I would start taking a pill, and during the first 2 weeks, feel great, energized, motivated. And then I found one, but then after those 2 weeks, I just kind of stopped doing that, and I kind of went back to my baseline, which was despondent, didn't want to do anything, lay in bed all day, kind of a thing. Like, my depression has never been so bad that I can't go to work, or I can't, do anything that, like, has a time limit, like appointments and stuff like that. Like, if I had to get up in the morning, I would set my alarm and I could get up. But if I didn't have anything to do, like it was like Saturday morning or something like that, I would sleep. until the afternoon most times. That was one of the biggest symptoms, was I would just sleep all of the time. I'm always tired. Still always tired. I think that has something to do with fatigue. Because I do have fibromyalgia, which a symptom of that can be depression because you're in pain all the time. Like, you know? Like my right shoulder down to my wrist hurts right now. For no reason. Not at all. So that's a lot of fun. Um, and so, there's like a class of drugs, antidepressants, which inhibit they're called SSRIs. There's also like SNRIs and a couple of different ones, but they inhibit different hormone receptors in your brain to try and balance those depression hormones. Um, and you can only be on one at a time. So the worst part, I think, well, one of them about treatment resistant depression that you're trying to treat is you have to usually be on 2 pills for antidepressant, and you can only be on one antidepressant, so they have to reach out into like the antipsychotics and other stuff like that. And so then, like, once people find out, like, oh, like you're on an antipsychotic, their first thoughts are like psychosis, schizophrenia, like not necessarily in those terms, but like, oh, is she seeing things? Is she hearing things? Like, I haven't experienced this personally, but I've heard it. And a lot of people, like in my nursing classes, are very judgmental about like, oh, like if you're a nurse, you have to be mentally healthy. You have to be mentally stable and physically healthy. Like there's something wrong with you and you can't be a nurse otherwise, which isn't true. Like you can be on the drugs and be stabilized and stuff like that, and you can go be a nurse or a doctor or whatever. So that, yeah, because I had a nursing student, co-student or whatever, co-classmate, who had to take a break, and like me, I guess, and she had to get on antipsychotics as well, which is just, and she was very upset about it. That she was thinking she was going to be the only nurse on antipsychotics, like that just, it doesn't make sense, like, but if you have problems and there's a solution, you need to find the solution. Or if it's something that you can't cure, like something to manage. Like, you don't just live with the thoughts that, oh, if I don't wake up in the morning, that's okay. That's not how you should live life. And I've experienced that firsthand, and I don't love being alive, but I don't hate it anymore. And I'm hoping that I'll learn to love it again, as I like find the right medication, or if this medication works for me long term and stuff like that. But like, I'm motivated to do stuff sometimes, but I'm also I just want to lay in bed all day still. So I can't tell if the medication is working or not, which is fun. So, but the definition of depression is at least 3, or it's like you have to have a depressive episode for 2 weeks or longer, and I believe you have to have multiple episodes of them within some sort of time frame. And mine was 6 years, every day. Like, there were happier days, there were worse days, but I never really liked life. I mean, it's not that much for me to like, in my opinion, which is very depressing and nihilistic. Life is suffering, which it is. but like smell the roses and stuff like that. Like, I've been baking more, I've been cooking more. I just, like, I can do it and I like it, but it doesn't last very long, which is strange and upsetting. Cause like, I would like to wake up and be happy, sometimes. And sometimes I'm just like, recently really, I've been reading a little bit. I'm trying to finish a book series so that I can do a book review over the whole series, but it's just hard, I think, to do the stuff that I used to like. I think I need to find more things that I like and do those. Cheap things, really, but I don't think stress helps with the depression either. And I don't know where my future's going. That's stressful. And it would be just so much easier if I didn't have a future, if you know what I mean. But that's not something I can say for myself. So, treatment-resistant depression? Very disheartening. Because, like, I had to go through, I think, 5 pills to find the one that's actually sort of working. And it makes me smile, and, like, I can smile and stuff like that. But today's just not a good day. Which is okay. There's bad days and there's good days. Just find out what's triggering your depression. Is it something you can control? Is it someone else? Is it you or is it them? Kind of a thing. And that helps me a lot with, like, the therapeutic tools and stuff. So, treatment-resistant depression. Alright, maybe some of this information helped you. Maybe not. But I'll see you next time.